In the meantime, President Biden is calling on Congress to come back to Washington to pass more funding for disaster relief. He said FEMA has what it needs to respond to Hurricanes Milton and Helene, but that a federal program to help small businesses impacted by disasters needs more money, and soon. Our Natalie Brand spoke with Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about the administration's response to the storms.
Yeah, we're still getting information in, but what we're seeing is a lot of progress in Florida already toward getting key transportation networks restored and getting those resources in to help people get back to normal.
So let's go to the White House. Nancy Cordes joins us there now. Nancy, you asked President Biden about the issue of funding. Let's take a listen to what he said.
How much time does Congress have to act before FEMA or the SBA run out of money?
That's in discussion now, but I don't want to mislead you. I think in terms of the SBA, it's pretty right at the edge right now. And I think the Congress should be coming back and moving on the emergency needs immediately. And they're going to have to come back after the election as well, because this is going to be a long haul for total rebuilding.
He says it's running out now, and Congress isn't scheduled to come back until the week after the election in November. So what's the outreach been between the administration and the lawmakers?
Well, it's interesting, Scott, because I followed up by asking the president, well, then have you spoken to the House Speaker to urge him to bring Congress back, to go back into session to pass this additional disaster relief funding? And he said no. He hadn't spoken to him. The reality is that House members on the right and the left are all back in their home districts campaigning furiously right now. They'd rather not come back if they don't absolutely have to. And so that's why it appears there's a little wiggle room right now. The president is saying he'd like Congress to come back. He's stopping short of demanding that they come back. But the administrator for the SBA is saying publicly that they are going to run out of money by the end of this month. And that is crucial funding, Scott, because that is the money that they use to make low-interest loans for people in the disaster area whose homes have been damaged or destroyed and need those loans in order to rebuild. If the SBA isn't replenished, that means FEMA has to spend more money, get more money out the door to provide assistance. And FEMA is running low as well. And so you've got federal officials on a daily basis crunching the numbers, trying to figure out just how much longer these two programs can last, whether they can make it until the week after Election Day, as you noted, when Congress is going to be coming back.
I also should add there's no plans announced by the Democratic Senate leaders to come back to town either, which means this is a bicameral and bipartisan issue. So much time and space and energy has been spent by the administration over the last 48 hours talking about the danger of misinformation that's swirling around the storm. What were they saying today?
Well, the president himself called out Donald Trump for a second straight day. He said that the false information that he is spreading is un-American. He called it bizarre. He said that it needed to stop. According to our count at CBS News, former President Trump has said at least 19 times over the past couple of weeks that FEMA is somehow hanging these hurricane victims out to dry, is not providing assistance, or that the money is being diverted elsewhere. That is not true. Republican officials from these states have said it is not true, and yet Trump keeps repeating it even today. And here was a really striking comment, Scott, from the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who is in the disaster zone in North Carolina. He said that rumors like that are spreading online, and they're even spreading throughout the disaster area and having profound effects. He said that there's this false claim running around that somehow FEMA officials are going to seize the land of hurricane victims. And he said that has caused some victims to be afraid to come forward and claim the assistance that they deserve and that they're entitled to because they're worried that somehow their land will be taken away. So this isn't just campaign rhetoric. It is actually having an impact on people who have already suffered so much.
The moment we have left, Nancy, these weren't just two hurricanes days apart. These were two uniquely powerful hurricanes days apart. How's the administration juggling the aftermath of each?
Well, they say that they have sent more than 15 million meals to the disaster area. both from Milton and from Helene. Something like 15 or 20 million liters of water. But FEMA has a set amount of disaster relief funds every year, Scott. It's about $20 billion. And in just the first 8 days of this fiscal year, they've already blown through nearly half of it. And so that gives you a sense of why there's such great concern about exactly when Congress is going to need to come back to replenish those funds.
At the White House, Nancy Cordes, thanks.
You're welcome.